Hello everyone and welcome to the Mick Mina Show. Right, I'm a former Iron Appa reality star. I won Iron Appa Raw in 2014. I'm also developing the first English speaking dramas on Cypriot TV, and I'm here today to talk about EastEnders, my pet subject. It's been horrible for me for the past 10-15 years. I adored this show. I could see the untapped potential. I even have my own concept for the show. But of course nobody will listen to me. Now the issue is, we go back to last week and the knife crime story, and I thought it was so ineffective, so diluting. My first big issue is the force-fed insert Mick Carter involved in this story. Why is Mick Carter involved? Why are they trying to make Mick Carter the big hero? Listen, I don't like the Carters. That's no secret. I've never liked the Carters. I never will like the Carters. I think they're a terrible bargain basement, Den and Angie. They do not work. They're too in love. First of all, they're far too in love. They're far too perfect. First of all, a soap couple needs to have some meat on the bone. But this knife crime, I just didn't feel compelled. I don't think any young people will kind of say, oh, I won't be carrying a knife anymore. You know, I talk to kids all over the place. You know, here in Cyprus, obviously with the internet, I can talk to people in London and everyone's saying the same thing. Basically, it just didn't work. The whole thing with Mick going to the hospital in the car, the whole Saturday matinee thing of them being trapped in the motorway was absolutely ridiculous. That is what diluted the whole thing. In terms of Shaquille being stabbed and killed, I don't care about Shaquille. I think the young actor isn't good enough. I've had an issue with EastEnders casting for a very, very long time now, and it's just going from bad to worse. And I just don't see how it's going to get better. We know that is it John York? Not John. Yeah, it's John York, isn't it? John York, the showrunner, has just extended his contract, so things are not going to get any better. And we know John York's previous EastEnders run was absolutely fantastic, but I don't know what's going on. Now let's go back and look when he came back last year. We had this big buzz of Lauren and Abby who were going to fall off the Vic roof and die. We later found out that Lauren survived. Lauren survived falling a big height without being a cripple. Basically, she got up, hopped out the square. Now, we know Joss is coming back. We know after her pregnancy and her leave, she'll be back. So she's not leaving for good. I can guarantee you of that. The show is on its knees. When I look at the other soaps, when I look at Coronation Street, Emmerdale and Hollyoaks, their standard is at a bigger level. And there lies the problem. I just don't care about the EastEnders characters. And as I say, the quality of actor is certainly uncomparable to the original cast of EastEnders. And I think people say you can't look to the past, but in terms of this, you can. EastEnders had kind of the level of cast we have on the 9 o'clock dramas, or the 8 o'clock dramas even, with Holby and Casualty. The kind of actors you get on there are absolutely incredible. But this show, the writing isn't very good. The storyline plotting isn't very good. It's like nobody cares what they're doing. They think they could sell EastEnders by the name EastEnders. Now, my idea for EastEnders is to kind of attract this Game of Thrones Walking Dead audience to it. I want to create a crime war where someone called the Widow takes out all the opposition by murdering them. There's a big gunfight in the square. Many season regulars are dead and the crime war begins. Albert Square and Walford change forever. And there's lots of different things that can happen through that. So, and I think it would be a really exciting show. And with having the soap kind of storylines at the backdrop, not a lot of people agree with this. Some people don't think that would work. I think it would work. I think EastEnders needs to evolve. I think EastEnders needs to change. And I don't think it will. Again, looking back at this knife crime thing, I'm not that sorry Shaquille's dead. But then, maybe I'm on my own there, because I never liked the character. I think he was off Britain's Got Talent or something, I don't know. But once I heard about the casting, I was pretty annoyed, let's just say. I was pretty annoyed from the very beginning. So I was never happy with him or his casting. I don't like the family. This is the problem. When was the last time EastEnders created good original characters that you could get excited about? Well, I'll tell you when. When do you think? When do you think? The Brannings. When the Brannings first came, Max Branning was a 21st century dirty den, and, you know, it was a great dynamic. He was a cheat. It works. Jake Wood played it well because Deirdre Santa was a genius. Everything he was doing back then was amazing, and it really worked. But since Deirdre left, nothing works. It's so diluted. It doesn't work. They're obsessed with trying to bring comedy into it. EastEnders always had a slight bit of comedy now and again, but it wasn't obsessed by it. But of course we had all these idiots going, EastEnders is too depressing, why can't we have happy storyline? Because it's a compelling, gritty drama, and EastEnders shouldn't have that type of comedy. EastEnders has to give up on being a soap and try to aim at being a 9 PM drama, because it just no longer works as a soap as far as I'm concerned. So I'm passionate in my movement. I'm disgusted how the BBC are running this show, the lack of care and attention. They don't even research the East End anymore. When Tony and Julia run this show, at least they were researching, talking to people from the East End. But they don't know what's going on in the East End, and everyone on the show wearing the same kind of, not the same, the best type of clothes. Everyone seems to have money. The kids seem to be kind of right on, wearing the best clothes, best trainers, best skirt. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. So there's not that kind of, what can I call it? Working class aspect to the show anymore. We knew what happened last year with the Bins and Sean O'Connor, but the point is, we can't keep on looking to him. We got a showrunner who once made EastEnders successful, and now, quite frankly, we have to look at it and stop blaming the showrunners. I think we have to look at it and blame the BBC. It's the BBC who are killing this show because they just do not care about it. Now, with my concept, I believe this show could be one of the best shows internationally on television. But today, people have to care enough to switch off, because until their ratings are totally affected, they're going to carry on. They're going to carry on giving us this mediocrity, this dilution. We're sitting there bored out of our skulls because we hardly care what's going on. This week, Carmel's going to try and kill herself. That'll quickly be brushed under the carpet. She'll talking about moving on like they do in soaps, and the whole thing would have been a waste of time. And I mean, it's up to you guys. You're EastEnders fans. That's why you're watching this video, I assume. Unless it's my pretty face, which I doubt. But what do you think about EastEnders? Do you think it's good? Are you happy with the direction it's going? Were you happy with the knife crime storyline? Because me personally, I'm not. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't feel compelled. I didn't cry. I wasn't sorry that he was dead, because to me, Shaquille was a tin pot character I never cared about. EastEnders have struggled creating good young characters, because Louise, to me, how is Tilly Keeper Phil Mitchell's daughter? You look at her. How do you cast her as Phil Mitchell's daughter? I want you to think about this. I'd cast her as Taylor Swift's love child, but Phil Mitchell's daughter is what they're trying to represent with her. A pretty, young teenage girl. You know, would Phil Mitchell's daughter really look like that? Really act like that? I would have developed her as a tomboy kind of thing, a bit of rough and ready. But she's not. She's all girly. She's got nice long blonde hair. She likes boys. She's so cool. As I say, she's so right on. So the character is totally wrong. And I think Tilly Keeper, love her as much as I do. I think she's a great laugh. I think she's a great laugh on social media, Twitter and all that. But as an actress, as someone playing Phil Mitchell's daughter, I don't like her. And Jasmine Armfield's another one. I think she's totally wrong for the show. They should be on a more glamorous soap as far as I'm concerned, where more attractive young people are on. Hollyoaks maybe. But isn't this what they're trying to turn EastEnders into? Some kind of poor man's Hollyoaks. And this is why EastEnders has suffered. So thanks for listening to me and bearing with my moaning and complaining. If you've got anything to say about EastEnders or anything I post, comment below. Try and be nice. If you can't, I'll just ignore you. Mwah!